Hello and welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is 26 of 365 days of Facebook Lives. Why does my makeup look like it's like I just woke up? Okay, start over. Maybe I feel like I need to go further. There we go. Felt a little too close. Okay, so welcome to my Facebook Live. My name is Jessica Lozano. I am a women's relationship coach and feminine embodiment mentor and ceremony facilitator, guiding women, mentoring women, ushering women into having the most extraordinary relationships with their safe, masculine, strong, empathetic provider, protector, leader of a man through their feminine embodiment, and to feel the great love that is available for them inside of this deep, fun, juicy, intimate, expansive, upward spiral of love relationship. I've experienced in my life. I am experiencing it in my life. And I know it is part of my mission, at least right now, to guide women to have the same relationship that I have. Like, I want you to have that. And I have so many different programs and offerings in order for you to get there. And also this live stream service or 365-day challenge that I took upon myself for you to have a resource of information. So, okay. Let me get a little comfortable. My neck has been feeling really tweaked. I woke up yesterday and it's really sore. Like those sorenesses, those soreness types that if you look the wrong way, it like tweaks, it's kind of like that. And this muscle right here has just been like, when I start typing or doing something for too long, it just like starts to like tense up and cramp. So, okay. I feel like I need to like arch a little bit. Okay, so today's day 26. Yes, today is day 26. And we're going to talk about reason number 2 of 5 in no specific order of importance. Why you don't want to drop your panties for your husband, partner, right? Why you don't want to. And yesterday I talked about the number 1 is not really having a relationship with your body and sexuality, right? So when you don't have a relationship with your body or sexuality, it's almost like you're kind of flowing with whatever's being thrown at you. The only way that you have related to your body sexually or intimately is either through a man, or maybe you've done some masturbation practices, which is so different than self-pleasure. And usually that is very much like just for a quick orgasm. There's nothing really about having a relationship, right? So I have a post that I'm queued up, ready to go live. And I compared like not having a relationship to sexuality in your body, like having a relationship with not having a relationship to food and just eating for eating, and eating some things, liking some things, not liking some things, and then finding, but not really knowing why, right? Not really knowing why you like something and not like something. You haven't really brought conscious awareness to the food or to your eating experience and to your own hunger cues and to your own body. So therefore you're just in this unconscious wave, kind of just flowing everywhere with whatever is there presented to you. Therefore, in this imaginary field, you don't like food, you start to reject food, and you think that food's the problem. Really, it's not food that's the problem. It's really your relationship to food, your relationship to your eating experience, to your body, to your hunger cues, to your mouth, to the taste, to the pleasure of eating, right? The entire thing about eating, and the types of food that's available for you, and the whole experience, the whole ambiance about it. There is a relationship to food, right? So it's not like a one, well, I guess it's, well, food's like not necessarily a person, but you're building a relationship with food, right? Maybe I could use the example of women who have binge eating disorders. I'm still trying to find a really good way to explain about having an unconscious relationship and a conscious relationship with food. I guess you can say when you have an unconscious relationship with food, you are eating from like emotions, from whether you're feeling happy, excited, angry, mad, sad, numb, and you use food for those types of things, and then you start to gain weight, thinking, that's a better example, thinking that the weight, that's a way better example. Thank God I just spoke this out to you because this really helps. Thinking, and you gain weight, thinking that food is the problem. And then you begin to not like your body, have a negative relationship with food, thinking that food was the problem. When it really wasn't food. It really is your relationship to food and your relationship to your own emotions with food and the whole entire experience of eating. Right? And certain things about eating, like how often you are eating, the types of food that you're eating that can cause certain triggers in terms of whether you have energy or lack of energy. Right? So it's not about the food. Food is not the problem. Then you try to go on a diet thinking that food's the problem. It's not about that. It's about your relationship with it, which is about you, right? So your relationship with sex and the feeling of not wanting to have sex is about your relationship about sex and your body. About having this active communication portal with your body and really deeply connecting with your body in a way that is sacred, not in the way that we have been taught. We actually haven't been taught anything about our body. We've just been taught to either be a whore or a Virgin Mary. There really has been no in between about that. And there is a sacredness to your body. So day 1, we were talking about your relationship to your body. Today, we're going to talk about the reason number 2 is that your heart isn't being met by your man, right? So when your heart isn't being met by your man, you can't really fully surrender. You can't open. Your heart is closed, therefore your legs are going to be closed. Heart is open, legs are going to be open. And there's many different reasons as to why this happens. And you might think, but my man is such a great guy. It's like, okay, yeah, he can be a great guy, but there's certain things that you're not being met by him. There's certain things that haven't been brought to the surface. You may not even know what they are. You may not even know what they are in terms of his side. Maybe on your side, there are things that you have not spoken about that need to be addressed. That's your side of the street. There's probably things on his side of the street that you don't know why, but you just energetically feel it. You're not being met by him in some way, and it shows through different ways, right? So the first thing I want you to know about this is that I don't want you to feel bad about okay, sorry. The internet for a second was like, not connecting. It bothers me so much when that happens. So the first thing, I don't want you to feel upset with yourself for feeling like, what's wrong with me? I don't want to have sex with my partner. I don't want to have sex. I don't want to drop my panties for him. I don't feel aroused by him and all the things. I don't want you to feel bad about it. If you consciously know, like, you know what, Jessica, you're right. I don't feel like I'm really being met by him. I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't feel like my heart's really being met by him. Therefore, I don't want to have sex. But then I feel guilty because I think I have to because I'm his wife or I'm his girlfriend. We've been together for so many years. And there's nothing necessarily like wrong. Like he hasn't done anything wrong where he hasn't like emotionally abused me, physically abused me. He hasn't like said something mean or wrong. Like we're not fighting right now, but like it just seems that over time something's happened and I just don't feel met by him. And I don't want to have sex with him, but I feel like I have to have sex with him because he's my husband, he's my partner, and maybe there's some fears of him getting it somewhere else. Maybe you've had some experiences, or maybe people have told you, or you just think subconsciously, I don't want him to find it anywhere else, so I'm going to spread my legs for him so that no other bitch does. So I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad for really not wanting to have sex. And I really want you to own it in that full place of like, I don't want to have sex with you. And not just with you, just don't want to have it. You get what I'm saying? I just don't want it. Like, honor where your eros is. Honor where that place is within yourself that you don't want to have it. That right there will bring you so much liberation and so much freedom. It's like, I can finally not feel guilty. That's what I want you. I don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to really own it. So now this doesn't give you the excuse to calcify this no. So I've given you permission to own the fact that you're not being met. Maybe you don't know why, right? Because usually when you get to this point, it's probably after a long term, there hasn't been an immediate fight, right? Because obviously if you're fighting, you don't want to, or something like that has happened. Like, over time, usually this is what happens when you don't feel like you want to drop your panties for your man. And over time, right, it's like a little subtle chipping away, and then you realize, like, I'm not really fully being met by him. I may not know exactly what it is, but I know I'm not being met by him. Therefore, I don't want to, my heart is somewhat closed. There's somewhere where it's closed. Therefore, my legs are closed. And I'm giving you the permission to own what you're feeling, to validate yourself. Validating yourself is going to free you so much. But you don't want to stay stuck in this place. You don't want to calcify and create this strong, like, keloid, bone tightening thing. A calcification, right? When your palms get calcified from over and over and over lifting weights, we don't want to calcify your pussy and this in your heart in this, right? So this isn't giving you permission to nail him to the cross, to place him in this bad area, right? This is owning and honoring your experience. To bring this that you've been trying to push down up into the light. This is what we're giving you experience with. I mean, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. This is what I'm allowing you to do, to bring the unconscious to conscious by validating, right? That's what I meant to say. I don't know what that sentence was. So the reason that this can happen is that there was a fight that wasn't fully resolved, or some type of disagreement, some type of loss of trust, some type of betrayal. It doesn't have to be big, right? I'm talking about something that wasn't really resolved. You think it was resolved, but it wasn't resolved, right? So therefore, either on both sides or one side, and therefore this feeling of not being met is not there, right? So this is reason number one where you don't feel met, that a fight wasn't fully resolved. Therefore, it's lingering in your energy field with you and your partner, right? So how you can know this is from the man stand, from your energy, from your partner, you're not feeling his presence. You're not feeling your man's presence. It's actually almost like he can be present with you, but as soon as the activity or whatever is done, is like you energetically feel him go up into his head. It's like into his head. Maybe you're having intercourse and you don't feel him. He's sitting next to you, but you don't feel him. Like his energy is not, his presence is not there. And that's the only way to experience. The only way that you know that this is happening is because you feel it. I know because I felt it. You know, it's like, how do you explain that? It's like you can't explain it. The only way you can explain it is like, I don't energetically feel you. I feel like you're in your head. Like his presence is somewhere. It's not here with me. I can tell you that, right? So you don't feel his presence. And because also can look like not really wanting to spend time with each other. Obviously, you're not physically present, so you guys do things to numb out in different ways, right? Netflix, video games, just not being home, going to the bar before you're coming home, or drowning yourself in books, mindlessly scrolling. There's things that you do that you guys aren't really spending quality time together on a regular basis. And that quality, or that time that you spend separated, there's an energy there of like, you guys are both numbing out, or one of you is numbing out. You feel this energy here. I also talk a lot about this in my masterclass, Reignite Masterclass. So this is for couples who want to break out of the boredom and the complacency in the relationship and reignite the love, sexy time, and passion and connection like they had before, but better. So I go into more of things that you can actually do. It's 222. So you can go into depth into that one if you would like. I'll put it here inside. I'll put it in the description as well. So that's what happens. I've noticed when there's a fight. Also, that can happen if your needs are not being met consistently. Your needs are not being met consistently, whether it's small or big, and maybe on both sides, right? This is a two-way street when you're in a relationship. This is not a one-way thing. This is a two-way thing. So your needs and desires and wants are not being met. It could be as small as, for every Friday, he's bringing roses. It could be as small as taking you out to dinner once a month and planning it. It could be as small as he's not picking up his shoes or his socks, and you really want him to, and he doesn't. So every time you pick it up, you feel like his mother. It could be a simple "Good morning, sweetheart." It could be as big as not going to family gatherings with you. It could be as big as, what could be another way that your needs are not getting met? It could be as being selfish in the bedroom and him not caring if you get off or not, or he gets off first and then it's the same routine, basically. Or not. You name it. It doesn't matter. But mostly when our needs are not being met, our desires are not being met, the big one with that could be like, you really desire a big change. You've been vulnerable about the big change that you want, and he's not leading. He's not taking action. He's not doing the things. Like, those are big things. Like, he's always messing up on booking flights, right? There's this energy within him that seems like it's very self-sabotagey, where he's not like listening, right? So that's like a big thing. But what I've noticed is usually it's a lot of the little things, the day-to-day things in your relationship where you're not really being met. Is your day-to-day things that you're not being met by him. That your needs are not being met by him. And then the last thing as to why you don't feel like your heart is being met by you is that he isn't emotionally supporting you. This can be many different things as well. Maybe he's always trying to fix it versus listening to you and just really want him to listen to you, and he's always trying to fix it, and then that ends up being a fight because you feel like he's trying to fix your problem and you really just want him to listen to you, to be that stoic presence that just hugs you, right? And then maybe later gives you some of his masculine clarity and all of that, right? It could be that he's not protecting you from something, right? He's not protecting you from an in-law, right? From his parents, most likely his mother. He's not protecting you. He's not being the man that you want him to be. So your heart doesn't feel safe. He's not doing the things that you need him to do in order for you to be like, oh my God, my man, my king. he's, you know, you name it. He's just not emotionally supporting you. He doesn't know how to tend to your heart. And I want to say that these are just things that these are just symptoms and things. Anything in a relationship can be transformed, and I want us, the feminine, to always take responsibility of our side, because some of these things means that we are not actually saying what we want, right? So on my next point, what do you do? How do you start? So you can see, first of all, you can see that all of these, if you're like, oh my God, yes, oh my God, yes, oh my God, yes, with any one of these, you can see how you can see how this is closed, therefore this is closed. And all of these things are most likely small little things here and there. Small little things here and there. It's not necessarily a whole big thing, right? When Ron and I went through this phase in our relationship, it wasn't like this huge, there was one huge thing. There was a couple of huge things in there that we needed to really talk about that weren't really fully addressed, but it was also the daily little things. And it wasn't like we were bad, right? It wasn't like we were fighting all the time. It wasn't like I didn't feel love for him and he didn't feel love for me. There wasn't anything like that at all. There was still this love for this man and love for this woman, where it's just like, I don't know what Ron was thinking, but I was thinking, like, what happened? Like, what happened? And why? And I thought that sex was a problem. I thought sex was a problem, but it wasn't that. It was the symptom. I thought giving more sex would be to solve the problem. It did not solve the problem. It wasn't until I did all the things that I teach you inside of all of my class, all of my programs, because it's all about me, but specifically what the relationship was, Reignite Masterclass, and what I'm going to be teaching you inside of Dripping Pleasure and the Sensual Woman Mastermind, which I'm contemplating of changing it to Sex Priestess. Stay tuned for that. But right now we're going to stick with Sensual Woman, since I've been promoting it like that since a couple days ago. So you may not feel like your relationship is necessarily like bad, but it's like, it's okay. It's not fulfilling. It's not satisfying you in some way, right? So these are some of the things that I just shared about. Now, what do you do, right? What do you do with all of this? So what I have noticed is that usually you're not really talking about it. You're not really having this deep heart-to-heart conversation. Like, one thing, I don't remember ever sitting down and saying, like, what's bothering you? I feel like something, like, I don't feel your presence, because it's something I've never really experienced before. Actually, I did experience before my previous relationship, but that was just like a turmoil relationship. I didn't really know what to make of this, what was happening. It wasn't until we really sat down, until one day it all just came up. And we had this really deep heart-to-heart conversation, no ego, really sharing exactly what was on our hearts. Like just truth. It was just truth being shared. And that cleared up so much. It cleared up. It was really like, you tell me your truth. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to put my ego in it. I'm going to tell you we actually listened to each other. Because during this time, we were also bickering and fighting. We don't bicker and fight anymore. Because we don't need to. Because we cleaned up all the bullshit. So have a heart-to-heart conversation. Release that layer that is in the middle. Whatever is not being spoken, either you or him or both. I'm guaranteeing you it's probably both. Talk. The day that Ron and I talked is the day that I had that transcendental experience with him through sex. It was one of the most beautiful sexual experiences with him. It really reignited our relationship. We have not been the same since, in a good way, in an amazing way. So talk, have a conversation. When your heart is open, your legs are going to want to open. It's the only way it goes with women. Men have a different relationship to their cock than we do with our pussy. They can fuck at any time. Doesn't really matter what's going on with their heart, usually. For us, it fucking matters, especially in a long-term committed relationship or in a marriage. The other thing that you need to do is hold your sovereign no without guilt. Don't give in to the ideas that you have to do it out of obligation. You are not helping the situation, my love. You are not. You are keeping him in your energy and within this thought that he cannot be a man if I have a sovereign no. Yes, he can be a man. Yes, he can take it. Yes, he can figure it out what to do with this sexual energy that is circulating within him, as long as you are also working on your side. If you just stick to the sovereign no, it becomes an ego no, and it becomes a calcified no, and you're killing the circuitry between man and woman in the relationship. Right? In sacred union, man and woman become one. How do you become one physically? Sex. There's a spiritual reason why we have sex, besides the fact that it feels really good. But you are killing an important component if you calcify that no. Trying to work on my posture as I see myself. Do you get what I'm saying? But when you really own the sovereignty of your no, in a place that you see him through the lens of a king, because you're embodying your queen in this specific aspect, he will rise to the occasion because you are also going to descend into the occasion. The 13. Did that sound Jamaican to you? The 13. The third thing is you need to work on your side. I'm trying to get comfortable here. I apologize if it's a little annoying. You know how when people move around a lot, it can be a little distractive. If I'm really trying to get in a comfortable position because my neck is just like killing me. My sister asked me to go on a bike ride today. I'm like, I can't hold my body in that position. It's just gonna be not good. Ron gave me a nice massage yesterday. That felt really good. Maybe he can give me one today. The third thing is you need to work on your shit. You need to work on your relationship to your body and to sexuality and to your relationship to the masculine. You need to work on that. That's your job. That's your work. And I got an easy way for you to do that, which is dripping pleasure. When you work on yourself, your embodiment automatically will change the frequency and the energetics in your relationship. The women is the frequency, is the call that men respond to, that your man responds to, that your husband responds to, that your partner responds to. You are the energy that is first. And then he leads, he responds, he takes action upon that. We have a deep responsibility for our feminine embodiment and what that means for our relationship. Of course, he has a very strong responsibility as well, that I think women more. So inside of Dripping Pleasure, it's a 2-week activating challenge, mini program. Might change the lingo to mini program once I redo the landing page, because I think I like that better versus challenge. And I'm gonna walk you through, it's gonna be a beautiful, gentle softening and opening of your sexuality. Because that's how it needs to be. That's how it should be. You can't force an opening of your sexuality. You can't be just thrusted into that. You have to gently open. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a little edgy for some of you. For others, it's going to be just so good and a little edgy. We're not going to do anything that is crazy uncomfortable. If you have any questions about that, you can absolutely message me. And it's going to be 2 weeks, 10 days of actual challenge. You have the weekend to catch up. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday to catch up with anything. And then again, we start again Monday through Friday on the second week. And then you have the weekend to catch up. And there will be a separate chat for the women who are joining live, so that you can experience, so you can have coaching and mentorship for the exact areas and challenges that you are having. And you're going to be surrounded by a group of women who are on the same path as you, who want to awaken. And this is what I love about these group containers, like these mastermindy containers, because you get to see that, number one, you're not alone in what you're experiencing. Number two, you get to see you're not alone. You get sisterhood, and you get to, what's the word? See the growth that happens between other women. Yeah, I guess that's the right word. You get to see the growth. You get to calibrate to each other's growth. That's the better way. You get to calibrate to each other's growth. And I guarantee you, one person is going to have a very similar situation to you. And when I give that person coaching, you're going to be like, oh, wow, totally resonate with that, right? There's a lot of power in that. But if anything, for you to extract exactly what you need out of this container when you join live. So this is a bonus aspect of it. Right now, it's $75. It's going to go up to $100 on Saturday. What time Saturday? I don't know, but it will go up on Saturday. So join now. This is a really awesome, hot and wild deal. And what else? Oh, I did talk about the Sensual Woman Mastermind. So the Sensual Woman Mastermind this is where we're going to take it just a little step further. This is for the woman seeking to connect to the depths of her erotic pleasure and spiritually connect with her feminine body and have for transcendental experiences with God and her King. Sexual transcendental experiences with God and her King. This is who that mastermind is for. 6 weeks long, 3 Zoom call teaching transmissions. Again, the other day, the in between, it's all coaching, it's all integration. I also give transmissions in between, little mini transmissions based upon what we talked about, because there's always something that comes up that I want to share. So I share it right after and break it up into mini transmissions. So you're going to be getting a lot of activations during that time, a lot of energetic calibrations. And that's right now $699. That one will go up to $999 in June. That's for the Sensual Woman Mastermind. Dripping Pleasure is included in Sensual Woman. So if you want to do Sensual Woman, the Dripping Pleasure will automatically be a part of that. And if you decide to upgrade into Sensual Woman when you're inside of Dripping Pleasure, we'll just what's it called? Take credit the $75 that Dripping Pleasure is now. So $75 until Saturday. I hope you join. I would love to see you inside. Message me with any questions that you have. I'm really excited for this challenge. I have really awesome experiences for you to have with your body and with sexuality and with your feminine and with the masculine too. So I have 3 more Facebook Lives for you about the other reasons why you don't want to drop your panties and what we can do about it, right? So I should probably say that, why you don't want to drop your panties for your man and what we can do about it. I'm going to go clean that up for the other ones. All right, my loves, have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.